Alright, had to turn the camera on. I heart exploding again. Some people kept messaging me requesting Rumpelstiltskin from Once Upon a Time makeup, so the first thing you do before you shove contacts in your eyes, which I'm just doing kind of a ghetto version, I'm not going to bind, I'm just going to wear something baggy enough to kind of hide it once finished. First thing you do is you get bobby pins, because most of us have annoying pieces of hair that like to come down. My hair's wet, thankfully, but still, just pin the front back. Make sure that the crap doesn't come out and attack you. And thankfully, the top layer of my hair is his hair, so I don't need a wig for this. But there are a few things that you guys are going to want to have, which is tooth decay type stuff. This is a gold nicotine stain, so it kind of looks gnarly and gold at the same time. And yellow, and you have to shake the living daylights out of this stuff. I still don't know if I've shaken it enough, because my old bottle is all gunky and dried up, so this is a new bottle. So yeah, you just sit here for like 20 minutes until you get tired doing this. I know, it looks like the shake weight, right? Yeah, anyway, my hands are clean, so while you still have clean hands, you are going to want to put in contacts, which I'm still going to rinse my hands one extra little time because I touched that bottle, just to be safe. I have gray eyes, which I know it's not going to give the same effect as the blue in the middle of his, but if you can see this, I use a circle lens that's a hazel that blends in and leaves the center color exposed. So it's almost his eye, it's just not as shocking. There are more shocking lenses than this one. But this is what I have to work with, so this is what you guys get. Apparently they like to move around on my eyes. Okay, so the first thing I did not film because I can just explain it in 2 seconds. Oh, and another thing that I should remember to do is to take the medication my doctor gave me. That would be a great idea. So pardon me 1 second. Oh. Oh my god, that pill tasted terrible. I only set my mouth for a second. Anyway, I have oily skin, so I use Neutrogena Rapid Clear stuff because you actually don't want to moisturize. You want to wash your skin and not moisturize because I don't want to speak ill of the man, but he's 50, so you want your skin kind of dried out, and barrier spray actually will help that too, so you guys please don't knock the tripod over. I have kittens. I have one giant one and 2 little ones. And then I have an older cat, but he's pretty good about not touching stuff. Anyway, as I was saying, where was I actually? Please stop messing with the tripod, oh my god. Guys, no! 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 I have to hide the freaking clothes that I'm going to wear for this because they keep trying to make a bed out of them. Sorry. And now they're just going to lay on top of that. Oh yes, as I was saying, don't moisturize because you are going to want the makeup, which will sort of dry you out, and the barrier spray, which will kind of dry you out too, to fold into wrinkles that you don't even have. That'll fold into fine lines. Like these I don't have unless I do this, but with the makeup, it'll make it like fold into it. So you'll look older, but we can also do shading too to help. I actually forgot a makeup mixing container, so I am going to go grab that really fast while you guys watch the cats possibly destroy my stuff. You can just order these off Amazon. Has a lid. If you can see it in the mirror, it's a little case. You can't get the cream makeup like I used for the Dark Elf. So I had to get the kind that you can use as a powder, or you can mix it with their mixing base and it turns waterproof. It's not bad, to be honest. I mean, it's actually pretty decent. It's just, you have to apply it with sponges and brushes and your fingers, and it's kind of a blending nightmare, but his skin's kind of screwed up anyway, so you Rumpelstiltskin, you don't have to worry about it. So the first thing I would recommend, and sorry, I still am sick, guys. Barrier spray yourself. It will dry you out a little bit to where you'll be kind of wrinkly. And then the makeup will further help that because it kind of dries you out. Let it get all nice, and I pour a barrier spray. Maybe I can get a little bit more out because I actually need a little more. Wow, that was like one huge spray in the wrong place. Holy crap. Oh my god, it's in my eye. Okay, I killed my barrier spray, but you can use hairspray for it too. I know a lot of people are like, no, don't do that, but you can if you have nothing else. You could use primer, like this kind of primer, or there's a Revlon kind, just any kind of primer will work for the most part. So yeah, sorry, I'm letting this kind of dry for a moment. And I'm going to start with the teeth because you have to actually dry your teeth and hold your lip up, which would kind of screw up your makeup. You pretty much got to make your teeth look gnarly and have gold in them. So, I know, shake weight, guys. You don't have to make jokes about it. I know you are, though. It's just, if you ever tried shaking out this stuff, it is so terrible. So you have to like actually dry your teeth, which I just fucked up because I have to open it. Because I am smart when I've had not a lot of sleep, guys. So let's do the two front teeth first. I know. Gotta look like Ugly Wanda. It tastes terrible. And obviously, if you feel like you had any in your mouth, check, spit it out. It just tastes terrible. As you can see, I completely did just kind of the first two, and then I kind of left spots, especially in the bottom, and I made it streaky and kind of odd. Oh look, some of it's still coming off. Because his teeth are just gnarly looking, so. Anything that just looks messed up and goldish is fine. You can actually add another layer if you're willing to stand here like this again and look kind of like a xenomorph. You know, just stand there like this. Okay, I think I'm just going to do the one coat because obviously I'm just demonstrating to you guys how to achieve this look because Belle is my costume that I plan to do before I do this and then make... Hey, stop shaking the camera! You do not attack the tripod, that can hurt you. Of course they don't know that because they're kittens. I'm sorry, the kittens keep interrupting me. You are going to get hurt, that is metal. No. I am really sorry about my sinuses, guys. I am going to blow my nose. I will go off camera for that because it's rude. I just, you know, don't want to ruin my makeup from having an allergies and flu problem. Teeth still gnarly? Alright, good. So, basically what you do with this type of stuff, I think it has a seal on it. Girls, no. Thanks, girls. I wanted everything to be gold anyway. You want to take a small amount of the powder because it's kind of like you mix and work with it, so it's easier to just pour and work. And I mean, this powder by itself, it kind of just goes on and it works pretty good by itself, but it's better if you make it a, like that James Bond movie, what the hell was that? I don't even remember. Does that tell you how long it's been since I've seen it? Was it Goldeneye that was that one? What the hell was that movie called? Goldfinger. Yes, Goldfinger. You get the Goldfinger effect when you put the mixing liquid. So you only want like a little bit on the bottom and then you want about the same amount of this mixer. It actually says to use as a base. Mix in a small bowl or container with powder, test for desired effects. So you can basically test it for the consistency that you want anyway. It's got the little paper seal. If it doesn't have the little paper, do not eat that, baby girl. I don't know why that bounced, but you cannot have that. No. These kittens get into everything. You basically just want a little bit of that too. And I am going to use one of my old brushes and clean it off really good, obviously. It's a, like the giant eyeshadow or concealer brush. I use brushes for like many things though, so I don't even know their names, because I'll use paint brushes for makeup too. If you hear this noise, it's actually me cleaning the brush off. I know you may not be able to see it in the mirror. Okay, so this makes a waterproof type makeup and you just kind of stir it around. And trust me, it's better to just kind of mix it and test it, because I have not used this actual kind. I have used the stick kind in a long, long time. But you're going to want to start like painting this crap on, and a little bit goes a long way. And just because, like I said, his skin tone is not exactly perfect, you do not have to be perfect with it. And I would blend back to your ears, but maybe not do them fully until last, because, I mean, I don't think you can really see his ears. I don't know, if you have ears that stick out like mine, maybe it's better to do the tops and outside of them. Don't forget to get your lips. And you're painting it on like, you know how people use the Bare Minerals? You're painting this on almost like you're using like a liquid Bare Minerals type stuff. A lot of makeup artists actually use brushes, but I know people at home don't. So that's why I'm having to describe it to you this way, because I am sleep deprived and awesome right now, and I have no idea how else I could possibly describe it to you. I have used my fingers with this stuff before, and I have to say I kind of think I like the brush streaks better because it makes the weird uneven skin tone that he has kind of be one of the things that shows up. And you do want to blend this into your hair. He does have it blended back into his hair even when they do his makeup on Once Upon a Time on TV. They are good blenders. Sorry that I do rush jobs with you guys, but at least it gives you like a general idea and you can kind of go off that. I am having to go back in and re-blend it back into my hair. He does have eyebrows, so we get to have fun with putting those back on later because they're getting kind of painted over with gold. As you can see, I needed very, very little to do the majority of the first coat on my face. Places like this one. Ideally, you would use a bigger brush. I will be the first to admit that, but I kind of want his weird patchy skin tone, so at the same time, I kind of don't want to, you know, go over it with a second layer with a big brush, because it won't look imperfect like his skin is. You won't have that weird Rumpelstiltskin, like tarnished look if you do that. It's always best to get as close to your eye as possible without getting it in your eye too. That is another important thing. And if you see any like if it looks too smooth, just take your brush and kind of just touch around. Sorry, I tried to get the bottom of this as close as possible. And I always like to go back with the powder over what I've done because it makes it more gold. So I'll show you guys that. It's just very like a very light coat. I do want to get parts of my neck though because I am kind of wearing a collar that only comes up so far. To show you guys this. And this is when I taught you guys how to be a weird, creepy old man that steals people's firstborn children. It was on this day in history. With your ears, of course, like the dark elf, you have to get inside your ears. Unfortunately, it feels kind of gross, but you gotta do it. And you gotta kind of get a little bit behind. It doesn't have to be perfect, because like I said, his skin is kind of weird, textured. I'm actually running out. Like, I barely had enough. And my hair is going to be down, so this part's not going to matter much that you see. It's kind of blank, except for that part on my neck that I seem to have just totally passed up. There we go. Now it'll just look like creepy skin. Anyway, yeah, screw your skin up a little bit. Make it look strange. Like, I just take the brush and just kind of dab it. And it just kind of gives a weird texture, or if you let a little bit of it dry and then do a little bit more, it does the same thing. And as you can see, it does kind of fold into wrinkles, but you're still going to have to get a fine line brush and use a darker, like a bronze shade to make fake wrinkles, which is not that big of a problem because you're going to have to make a guy nose anyway. So anyway, after this, I do like to take, it has a seal on it. Where's the edge of it? I take the regular powder and I make myself more gold. Because if you're going to be at a convention, you're going to want to just barrier spray the crap out of yourself and be as gold as possible, because well, you know, flashes, cameras, all that stuff. And most people do this for conventions, that's why I do it, so why not? I have to wipe off yet another brush because I was just a dark elf, so everything on it's like black and blue and charcoal colored. Oh, and to get this teeth stuff off, you guys can just use a Q-tip and mouthwash. Or a Q-tip and rubbing alcohol, which sounds nastier, but a Q-tip and mouthwash works pretty well too. Sorry, this is a difficult brush. It doesn't want to behave. Okay. So yeah, you just want to use the gold like powder. Make yourself more gold. It's getting on my hands. Yep, you want to be so gold that it would attract the Kardashians if they saw you. And yeah, you can actually get your ears with the powder to make them look like super gold. And you do want to blend the powder up into your hair too. See how much more gold you look when you do loose powder over it. And one of these things will last you about 4 applications, so it's like you don't even need to worry about how many cons it'll last you through. If you're only doing him for 1 day, this shit will last you like 4 cons. If you need a backup, get a backup just in case. Okay, so now you see what I'm talking about, how it makes, it kind of dries you out and folds into wrinkles. Like even if you don't have wrinkles, it gives you them. Gives you those fine lines by making them shrink up and tighten and look worse than they would normally look on a person. But that's okay, that's what we want. We want to look like a creepy old guy. So yeah, you want to go up into your hair with this. And you are going to want to barrier spray the crap out of yourself, but let me get all this excess and finish doing it with the hair, because I don't really have hair mascara. I kind of just went out and bought the basics. Basically, you could make yourself Rumpelstiltskin for, I think it was, for the stuff I bought just for him and a barrier spray, about 20 bucks. So you make yourself Rumpelstiltskin about 20 bucks. So again, let this sit for a few minutes, which I will sit here and bullshit with you in my S-Mart smock for a few minutes. I know this is exactly, Rumpelstiltskin right here. He works at S-Mart. I was friends with Ash. Make sure everything's closed. Make sure the teeth are still gnarly, because this stuff does kind of like wear off through the night, so you probably want to take it with you to a con and just do little touch-ups here and there. But right now I'm pretty creepy, dearies. I can't do Scottish accents. I've tried many times. I'm trying to catch on to the Australian one, because apparently when I get mad, that's what I kind of sound like to people, is I sound like a combination of Australian, Irish, and Russian, which is weird because my family is mostly like Middle Eastern and gypsies and stuff. So yeah, when I yell at people like, or get overly excited or mad, that's apparently what I sound like. So barrier spray, you want to heavily do this. I'm going to point away from the camera though, because this is kind of like almost hairspray. Okay, that is coat 1. you're going to want to do 2 or 3 of this. Just because if you accidentally touch your face, you don't want to have like... And some of you I know will be painting your hands. Use the same method, barrier spray the crap out of it, and wear fingerless gloves just so that it's easier to reapply at a con with just the powder and barrier spray. And I would use just gold nail polish. Obviously I got gloves. I would actually recommend wearing gloves just because makeup comes off your hands so fast. I have that problem with Nuada. I have to reapply to the tops of my hands with a lip color. Sorry, that pill is just not going down properly. A lip color that I made myself with Crayola crayons and stuff. Yeah, I do that too. Crayola crayons, I made white for my really pale characters so I can keep their lips pale, like Dream. Alright, round 2. Yeah, it's pretty terrible. I'm just gonna say 2 coats is good for me because I don't want to make you guys watch like a 2-hour video. However, I do need to find certain brushes because we do need to do contouring and wrinkles and manly features. So we're going to use the same brush that we used for liquid makeup, assuming that it's dry enough to let us. It may not be. No, it's still too wet. I have one similar though, it's okay. That one might actually work. So, I usually use like bronze colored things for things like this because if you're already unnatural colored, you might as well just keep the theme going. So this is just some sparkly CoverGirl eyeshadow that I'm going to use the darkest bronze on for my shading and contouring. Which would be like the jawline. You want that to look more manly, and you want to give yourself the illusion of an Adam's apple. So get that started. Upon first doing it, obviously it doesn't have to be perfect. You can go on with a smaller brush and perfect it. But for now, you just generally want the shading. It's kind of weird that my first plan is Belle and I'm showing you guys how to do Rumpelstiltskin. Because Belle would be easy. Any chick that does any kind of makeup or any drag queens or anybody would know how to do Belle's makeup. It's just, you know, kind of a natural look with a reddish cranberry lips. And of course blue contacts because everybody wants the pretty bright blue eyes. Okay, so you do want to give the illusion that you have an Adam's apple by making it look brighter in the middle than on these sides. You also want to shade around your neck muscles because, you know, guys tend to have much more tone than females. I don't believe he has stubble in this form, so I'm not going to worry about that. Just other man features. Just kind of getting more precise right now. Unfortunately, I do not think I have a darker one. So I will be pulling out one of the darkest ones out of my wet dry shadow. This is just going to be the generalized one. Sorry, I do have to clean off all my brushes. I kind of go to con in a rush and shade everything in a rush, and yeah, it's kind of a wreck. But hey, you guys understand why I get there so late now. That in when I was still dating someone, I had to do a lot of their stuff too, and I would help my friends, so I kind of ended up doing a lot more. I mean, it wasn't a bad a lot more though. It was, you know, there's just a lot of people that need my help, and I wish that we could get there faster, but we can only move at a certain pace. So you can kind of do this one thick for the contouring because you're going to go back in with a slightly darker color. Because he does have a, he's older, he has a rather structured face. So with the temples, a little bit. And of course under your cheekbones and down. I know pretty much no matter what I do, I look like Luke Goss as blah 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 when I'm a guy, but I swear I'm trying. I'll try to make myself look wrinkly enough and all that stuff, because I love you guys that much. This is probably going to be like 4 videos, because my speeding up of the dark elf makeup, while you could still tell what I was doing, I couldn't explain certain things, and you're going to want to shade yourself where you would naturally be a little bit darker, obviously, like the around the base of the nose and the nostrils a little bit, and right in here. And I will do my lips in this color just because it will appear much more natural on camera. Trust me, with flashes, you need this crap. I would do this, I guess it's a dark bronze around your eyes too. And just go ahead and use the fat brush because you're going to be doing the finer details with a different brush. Maybe shade up to your brows and then do your brows a little bit in the bronze. You're going to want thicker brows anyway because he's a dude. I know he doesn't have like gigantic Scotsman hairy eyebrows even though he's Scottish, but you still want to look like a guy. Want to do the man justice, right? I have no idea what you were attacking over there. Hey, what are you attacking? I am going to come over there. What are you guys playing with? 1 second, guys. My cats are into something. Baby, what are you into? Well, that's the shower dripping, sweetie. No, 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 you don't have to run off. It's just, that's what it is. It's okay. It's just the shower. I don't know what the hell's wrong with the shower. Yay for new problems wrong with the house. So, yeah, just watch where I'm shading and copy me. Because I'm bad at tutorials, but if you can watch me do it, if you're a watch and learn person, then you can totally learn from me. I will keep making these as long as I have people that are learning from them. And this is just kind of like a base coat to make your brows appear thicker, so don't worry if it's super thick and getting on your forehead and stuff. My eyebrows are kind of pasted down from the stupid makeup too. And maybe go down a little because he's a little crazy, so let's do a little bit of dark circle right there. Yeah. Another thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to shade the sides of your nose, but you are also going to do, you know, I'm not a nose doctor, and I'm not going to pretend to be a nose doctor. He has a hooked nose slightly, so you're going to want to shade under here to make your nose look a little hooked. And flat brush again, because you're going to want to do the more structured, like diamond shape that men tend to have on their bridge. And then, of course, you know, go back to your creases here and shade those too. Trying to do the little triangles here. Happy little trees, guys. Happy little trees. Okay, another thing you want to do is in here. And like I said, this is just your starter coat. I think he has a few wrinkles when he smiles, whereas most of us are still in our 20s and 30s and have just like one. But as you can see, the makeup does dry you out pretty good, so that when you do like this, you can get your makeup and kind of go over where you would have wrinkles if you do it really, yeah. So, it is possible. In fact, I'll darken that area a little since it is going to have some wrinkles for a little bit of depth. Okay, so now we need to find my wet dry shadow and a fine line brush, which I do have. I just have to find it in here. Oh, I do have my fine line brush out already. I use this for blood and everything else, so let's make sure that it doesn't have strange color on it. Alright, you can get the stage makeup palettes, but I'm going to tell you guys a little secret here. Wet dry shadow works almost just as good if you try to open it the right way anyway, and your cellophane piece doesn't, you know, totally fall off. This kit is Get Creative, 252 colors. It's actually like a generic MAC, but it works wonderfully. There's a very dark brown if you get the 252 one that's on the, I don't know, I call it the rainbow sheet. You're going to want to use these two because one's metallic and one's not. That's going to be how you're going to make your wrinkles. But first we do want to get our contour brush back, or a similar brush, and give our face a little more depth, because nobody likes flat faces. Except for those one people that everybody complains about for dark elves, which I have shown you how to not look like that, so all of you should be totally fine when you're dark elves now. But did you guys see that weird comment on my thing? I had to actually ask, my friend Da Vinci what the hell it was, because I had thought, I thought, you know, in history, I was like, isn't that weird thing that weird racist people used to do like 100 years ago, where they would paint their face with shoe polish and make fun of black people? Because some guy was like, is it blackface? And I was like, what the fuck is that? So I had to like kind of look it up, and I thought that's what it was, but I remember the racist douchebags would leave the eyes and the lips uncovered, and I don't really know, I don't understand the symbolism to it at all. But some guy asked if the dark elf was that, and he's supposed to be my friend, so I'm very upset with him right now. So instead of responding in a upset manner, I graded the racists on their poor makeup job and bad blending, and how black people aren't the color of shoe polish and ink. They're typically brown. In fact, my great-great-great-grandfather was from Kenya, and we did have like one picture of him, and even though it wasn't in color, you could tell that he was dark brown. So I went through a whole process of explaining how incorrect the racist people's makeup was, and he didn't say anything else, so I hope he kind of realizes that that was kind of fucked up, because my great-great-grandfather was hung in a kangaroo court for stealing horses that he did not steal, with some other various ethnics of people who were actually just, they were feeding poor people, is what it was. They were stealing food and feeding poor people. And they could not catch them doing it, so they pinned horse thieving on them, and they had someone bear false witness to these men doing this. So I think it was something really bad, like 3 Native American Indians, a couple of black guys, and 2 white men, and an Armenian guy, I think. Anyway, almost all of them got hung, and I think one of them kind of escaped. But it was like all set up because the guy was trying to feed people. He was one of the people that ran with, if you Google it, the Henry Berry Lowry gang. So it was kind of an interesting story to learn about my family. But, yeah. So yeah, somebody asked me if that's what the dark elf makeup was, and I was like so confused. I had to ask my friend, and he was like, yeah, that's what that is, and I was like, that doesn't look anything like that. And I was like, and I would never be caught doing some asshole shit like that anyway. I was like, I feel like even as a joke, that's kind of lame. And I don't say lame in like a way that, because, you know, I think I'm one of those everything's funny or nothing is funny things, but there's certain lines where you just don't cross them. And to me, that is one of those, that's just one of those lines where I'm just like, no, dude, done. As you can see, I'm just darkening a little bit more areas that I already shaded. But yeah, it's like I asked my friend because I didn't quite understand, but he was like, yeah, that's what he's trying to say. And he's like, he's an asshole anyway. I'm like, I couldn't agree more. So yeah, if you are that person and you're watching this video, I just want you to know that that's why I got so mad, is because I was told the story of my great-great-great-grandfather, and it was not a good story. It was a kangaroo court screwed up story. And I do believe kangaroo court in American is the rigged courts to make the party guilty no matter what, and they often involved marijuana. This one did not, obviously, but it was one of those types of deals where these guys were going to be guilty no matter what. So yeah, it's cool that I took the time to tell you guys a story about my dark elf makeup and the insult that I got while I was doing this, because now you guys know a really cool piece of my family history, besides the one that I posted earlier where when we ask about my great-great-grandma, to anybody in the family they say that she was a mean as a snake, fat black lady with big boobs. They don't tell you anything else about her, they just tell you that. And you kind of want to make your look like you have Neanderthal brow, by the way. I know, it sounds terrible, but you're trying to be a creepy old guy right now. I'm not saying that the guy's bad looking or whatever, I'm just saying you want to look more like a guy, give yourself Neanderthal brow. Just very gently, I mean enough to show up in pictures. I may just put a whole costume onto this and freaking get a photo shoot. Usually you can shade right around here to give yourself a little bit of a brow bone. Oh, and the friend that I mentioned, just because I am a good friend about whoring his work, it is Fantasy Armor by Da Vinci, but his name is spelled like, it's like French spelled, it looks like it says didnt. So go check out his page, because at some point we're going to collaborate and figure a cost-effective way, and I am going to save as much as possible to make a chest and neck and shoulders type piece, and possibly a belt piece that I can add to my snow elf costume, because we both want to show off his work to places like. So look forward to that and go look at what he's already doing. I mean, his work is just, yeah, it's awesome. I mean, there's no other word for it. And you do want to kind of shade and darken the inner parts of your ears, because right now they're just all straight up gold. And this will take forever to wash out of your ears. I will be honest with you, you will be picking out, like, I'm just not gonna lie to you, you will be cleaning makeup out of your ears days later, just whenever your ear has an itch or something. If you just do the, where you rub your ear because it itches, you will have makeup somehow. I know I'm kind of screwing up on the muscle structure here, but I'm kind of trying to rush. Now we're on to finer details and wrinkles. So the first one you want to do is wherever your line is for where your skull, basically your eye sockets are, you want to start to make a wrinkle there. And then if you have a little bit of fat under your eye, you want to go under there, but then you want to come out like you have crow's feet. So from there you want to kind of go out and down. I think I may actually need to make this wet. Oh, there we go. I'm going to make sure that these are visible. And then some of them are not going to go all the way up to your eye, obviously. I mean, if you have to, just look at his face. I'm doing this without a reference. I'm not like the super fangirl or anything. I just think the character himself was like really cool. I mean, he was done really well. But yeah, I would, if I were you and you're unsure of where to put them, I would look up pictures of him. And you kind of want to make it look like you have a couple. You want to make your eyelid look not as solid as it is for a younger person. So, I mean, you don't need much here. Obviously, you just need a couple of brow wrinkles and like one or two across the bridge of the nose. Trust me, if this looks stupid now, it will look much better in photos. Will you guys stop fighting near the tripod? Grr, do not attack that kitten, you are giant! As you guys can see, I'm just kind of doing the same thing on the other side, but right now I'm actually trying to get my little wrinkles right here shaded in. And you're going to need another coat of barrier spray once you're done wrinkling yourself too, by the way, just so you know. This is not the smallest brush I could have used, but this will show up better on film. Like my friend McKenna, the one who makes my epic costumes when I have the money to afford her, she is a stagehand and she has a lot of theatrical experience. I believe she actually went to school for it. Even she'll tell you if you're going to be getting a lot, if you know you're going to be getting a lot of professionally done pictures, you probably want to go slightly darker than you need to. And your wrinkles do not have to be symmetrical. I know some people are perfectionists, but everybody's face is actually not symmetrical, so it's actually better not to. If I wasn't afraid of wiping off my gold powder, I would have went wet with this. But I know that it would wipe off my top coat. And you also kind of want to make it look like your underlid connects a little as they come out too. For those of us who have almond-shaped eyes, this is kind of harder to do because some of us have lesser of a fold. Obviously, I think I have a small normal one, thankfully. So it's not as hard, but it's still kind of difficult. And when I was younger, it was very much difficult. But thankfully, me, and if you guys know my friend Mandy Pandy, obviously she recently was Strike and Psycho from High School of the Dead. she's one of the other people who would have trouble with this similarly, because it's very annoying, trust me. Anyone who has Middle Eastern or Asian blood actually will probably tell you it's really freaking annoying. And I'm not being like mean or anything, so like the things that make up my muttness, I'm just saying that they make makeup very difficult sometimes. Because I've put makeup on people with like the really pretty like baby doll looking eyes, and it's so much easier. I mean, it is so much easier. Okay, and with this thing, I also want to darken the coming down to here very slightly. Because you gotta remember, a flash is going to drown most of this out. So you want to darken this corner up to the brow. And then just darken a little going up and down the nose. And you're going to want to use this to make it look a little more hooked too in a second. But first, we still want to make the very obvious masculine nose bridge a part of this. I know, I feel like I'm promoting my friends while I'm doing this, which is great because I am. Another person who does Mr. Gold and I think does Rumpelstiltskin or is going to do Rumpelstiltskin is my friend Link, and you probably have seen him as Link, but that's to my Belle, that is my Rumple. So you guys have seen the cool ponies and the like custom ponies they've made for him too, so I'm right now trying to figure out how to make a chibi Hello Kitty, because I want it to be cute but still like fat and chibi looking with a 3D cutie mark. It's kind of proving to be a challenge, but it's actually been kind of fun, and that's part of a trade. Let me finish telling you this. It's part of an art trade that we're doing. You also do want to try to get forehead wrinkles for my Belle dress. So I'm actually going to, obviously still going to pay part of it because I do want steel boning in the corset part. And I want to make sure that he gets like at least 20 bucks extra. I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm giving him custom-made sets of stuff, but I still want him to have like $20 or something, so that when we're at con we can goof off or like have a fake Belle and Rumple date. We're both actors, so it really doesn't matter because he's got somebody and I got somebody, so nobody would take it seriously, but it would be funny and it would be a cute photo shoot. You want to darken these. This is also how I do Lucius Malfoy, just so you guys know. Except I use natural colors, obviously. I mean, if Lucius was gold, I think Narcissa would have some problems. Okay, so you want to shade a little more for his, like, kind of hook nose deal that he has going on. Which I find is funny because this is actually more acceptable when guys have it, but it looks strange on women. I'm not saying that it's bad, it just tends to flatter the male face better than the female face. That's what I'm trying to say. And then of course you want to shade just a little bit in the middle of here. And a little bit on parts of the lips. Okay, so you also, I'm just going to assume he has like a couple of other lines, like laugh lines. maybe 2, and just kind of make it taper off and fade. It actually did not go on as dark as I had hoped. Oh, and do your nose creases too. Make them a little bit more stand out. Looks like on this one I have 3. My hands are kind of shaking, so. And then this little extra one that just kind of got in there. Look at tiny one over here too. And we'll do some chin wrinkles. Not much, just a couple. Very faint. Okay, so this may look like more intense right now, but the last thing you need to do is the eyebrows, and you're going to want man brows, so you might as well just start making a shape. I usually just do the top, and then from the bottom I do strokes so that it looks more like hair. Because you can still see his eyebrows. I don't know how many people I'm going to have to end up doing this to at a con. But I will be much faster on other people. I actually work faster on other people than myself. I don't know why. In fact, I have no idea why, but I do need some water for the eyebrows because this is just not dark enough. I'm using a very dark brown for this, like Hershey bar brown almost. And I am having to wet it, but it's because it was not going on right. And I'm, trying to make a thick brow, so it would be nice if I could actually make a thick brow. And don't be afraid to do upstrokes that may look creepy and weird because you are, again, trying to be a dude. This is about the only time I would say it's okay to use wet dry shadow without wiping off your gold, because it's not really going to matter if you wipe too much of it off on the brows. Sorry that it seems like the eyebrows are taking 100,000 years, but apparently they are going to have to. I do not have a pencil. At this time I need to buy a new one and probably should have. So it's not as easy as using brow powder and doing normal eyebrow, touch-ups and fills. It's a lot harder. Apparently this one needs to match that one and be pointy, because I at least like eyebrows to kind of match. Alright, so I think we got like as close as we're going to get. Let me do a little bit more filling in where it looks like it's just still straight up gold. So anyway, it's okay to have like messy looking brows because you're a guy. You're a guy and guys are just gonna not give a crap. Even guys who like to look good in suits are still probably gonna look at their eyebrows and just not give a crap. Alright, so now I'm going to throw some stuff on. Oh, with some kittens asleep on it. And I bought pirate gloves. So you guys can hate Captain Hook all you want, but I'm sorry I had to steal his gloves for this demonstration. And I have to use my Gakupo shirt because I do not have a Rumpelstiltskin made at this time. This vest is actually for Jefferson, who I was going to do a version of him with an Alice with Pippin. But, yeah, so as you guys know, this is not my first priority costume. I do want to cosplay him, because as you can see, I would look pretty freaking cool, but my first priority is Belle, because I really like Belle. Don't ask me why, I just do. And I want a pretty dress that I can wear my petticoat under and feel like a princess. Don't judge me. Sometimes I can be a girl too. Okay. So like I said, I may end up going and harassing him to go do a test shoot with this too, because I'm actually impressed with how okay this actually looks. I don't have like an ascot or a cravat or whatever the hell you want to call those things. I think they have many names for them. But, which side is it? Wait, it is this side. It's double-breasted. It confuses on purpose. It likes to screw with me. I am not bound, but this seems like it's baggy enough to where it doesn't matter. And I kind of feel like I could get away with throwing on some leather leggings. And maybe some, what are those called? Control top pantyhose to like flatten hips and stuff. And go get some pictures. Because with my hair, honestly, I just have to hide the back. I already have his hair. Because I dyed it this color for Belle. It's still kind of wet, but the top layer of my hair is the right length and everything. I can't go blow dry it because it'll like frizz up. But I don't think it actually matters that much. I will try to hide my long layers and shake out the short. And I'll try to get some pictures of this for you guys. Obviously, as you can see from video, it's pretty freaking close. It's just longer. Now that there's more on this side, it's just being a douche. I don't care if a few long pieces get in or whatever. I just care if... maybe if I do like a French twist type deal to it. Yeah, most of these are ending up long. Where are my top layers? Come on now, I know there's... there we go. There's plenty more. Just like I know there's more back here. There we go. I don't care if a few long strays get in, but a ton of them would be kind of lame. I'm actually going to be very careful with how I do this. Oh, I can see that I still need to pull some longer pieces down on this side to kind of match it up. Oh well, he's crazy. Crazy guy here. Crazy guy here. I know the bottom doesn't match, and I know that I'm not bound, but I kind of am getting away with it. How do I look, dearies? hopefully good enough for you guys to actually be epic Mr. Golds. So let me throw some gloves on because I'm not painting my freaking hands. And I'll actually go put the rest of this on and go see about photo shooting. So how many of you are ready to make a deal? First come, first serve, blah blah blah, all that crap. I'll look perfectly. I don't really have to bind as long as I stand carefully and I can get the slimming pantyhose going. Which I can. I will go throw that crap on real quick and I'll try to get you guys some photos. And with the back of it, I don't know if you can see this mirror, I just kind of made it look like a short ponytail by like half bunning it. So, I hope that works. So yeah, this is how you become Rumpelstiltskin. And I don't have a very good Scottish accent, but I can do a semi-Scottish accent. It just sounds kind of French in the middle of it. And I almost forgot about this part again. Sorry guys, second coat of barrier spray for the wrinkles. Let the crap dry before anything else touches it. It will also dry out your skin more, which will make you look more wrinkly. Just a little more old man-like. And as soon as this dries, I swear, I'll put the finished look back. If you could find gold mascara, I would suggest doing a gold mascara. But I put this lash serum on and it actually made my eyelashes look light and the gold powder stuck to it, so they look gold. So if you have like lash serum, mascara stuff, just put the gold powder over it. It seems to stick. So yeah, anyway, let me try to... Crazy guy. It's wet, so it's like really hard to deal with. Alright. So I don't remember what side his is parted on or any of that. So let's just assume it's this one. And this is how you become the dark one. And try not to weigh your collar down, because wet hair has a tendency to do that. But you know, I am so smart. You should be okay to eat and drink with this, but I still prefer to dump the water into my mouth. Still got the ugly teeth. So, yeah. This is how you go about doing it. Now you've seen it done, and hopefully you can do it yourself. I know this was a long tutorial, and because I put so much effort into this, I am going to go have a photo shoot done as the dark one. I'll actually brush my hair out to get more crazy guy hair going. So yeah, if I left anything out, I'm sorry, but this is how you guys do it. Pick a circle lens that fades into your natural color that is a light yellowish brown, and you should have similar to what he has. That has a darker outer ring too. He has like a darker circle. So yeah, that's all you guys have to do. Gotta find the off button. Where the hell is it?